Yo, people, we're back again. Another week, man. Hope you man had a good week. Finally, the Premier League's back, man. You know them ones. But obviously, the usuals like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you share with your friends and your people. Shout out all the new subscribers as well. I think we're like on 47 or 48 now. So, two more to get to 50. I want us to get to 50 by the end of next week. So, you man know what to do, yeah? Share with your friends. So anyway, let's get straight into it. Hey, so I'm hearing that it was a Trent masterclass. It was a Trent masterclass apparently. Um, Before we get into Liverpool and what that means for them, I want to get onto Arsenal. And obviously, I've been hearing stuff about Aubameyang. Is he a proper captain or whatnot? You know, all of this, all of that. But like, so the Arsenal boys first, yeah. What's your general thoughts on the game and like the long term ramifications like this result has on like some of the players' futures and where do you go forward from there? So I'm gonna start with Ore.
Okay. Yeah, in terms of context, in terms of the season, yeah, I think we're quite done in that department. I don't think we're pushing for Europa League places, or obviously the Champions League places are gone. So we were trying to obviously push for an European place, but that's looking unlikely now. If Everton win today, our chances look slimmer as well. So, we'll probably just be focusing on winning the Europa League to try and get back into Europe. But my fear is that if we do win that, then it'll kind of set like a dangerous precedent. Like we would kind of think we had a good season because we won the Europa League, similar to last season when we won the FA Cup, and it kind of like covered the. It was kind of like what's that term Denzel always uses? Paper
Paper
over
the cracks.
the
Yeah,
cracks.
can
Paper
I
Yeah.
over
can
the
I just say
cracks.
something?
So,
Obviously the season's not finished yet, but you're joining points with Leeds, bruv. Leeds.
yeah, that is quite awful.
Ah, Aston Villa
That
have
is
a
quite
game in hand.
awful.
They can go. Oh, carry on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's quite awful. So in terms of us winning the Europa League, if we do that, it would kind of look like we had a good season when, it's quite the opposite because we had a very, horrible season. So that's one of my fear of possibly winning the Europa League. Obviously, I want us to win it, but, yeah, that would obviously be something dangerous that would happen if we think we had a good season and stuff like that. Then in terms of how we set up in that game, it was awful. Um, I think Xhaka being one of our most important players just really kind of says the level at which we are in the club, because Xhaka himself is very error prone, and he has a lot of shocking games, and the fact that he's so important to us in terms of how we set up just shows the level at which the club is. So Xhaka being out, we had to play Ceballos and Party. So Party kind of had to be a bit more deeper, and I don't really like him there. And Ceballos, he's been awful for a while now. I'm so happy he's alone. So, he's obviously able to go back and we don't have to retain him. Um, yeah, so the midfield pivot of Ceballos and Party wasn't good. Um, Aubameyang left wing, I mean, he's just not really been into it this season. To be fair, Trent is a weak link defensively, and what we're supposed to do is try and get Aubameyang, like, to target Trent. But then, Aubameyang isn't good enough anymore this season. So it's just kind of hard because, we can't really like attack properly or put together gels of attack. So our midfield was overrun. I think I said it before the game that our midfield was going to get overrun by Fabinho, Thiago, and who was it again? Milner. So, they completely overran ran us in midfield. Once Jota came on, it was always, looking like game over because they just needed someone to put away the chances that they've been creating all game. Um, yeah, in terms of where we go from here, I just think there are a lot of players that we need to clear out this summer, and there are a lot of players we need to bring in. And if that's not done this particular window, then it's just going to keep us in the same cycle where we'd have low quality players and it would have a manager and we'll obviously complain because he doesn't have, and then we'll say next window and we'll just be in the same cycle over and over again. And if Ateta does go and we bring in someone else and we still don't play well, it will just keep on being that same cycle that will get locked in. So that's why I think Dan and I were saying that this window is very important. But yeah, in terms of that, we just need to focus now on the Europa League, try and win it, and just see how we can progress as a club.
So you would be happy to get rid of Danny Ceballos completely, cut ties.
Very, very happy. You know what? I actually thought that he would be good as a squad player, so someone to have on the bench, and we could bring him on. But even now, I'm not even sure he's good enough to even be a bench player because
I think he's a decent player. I think he's a good squad player in my opinion. He's just not
yeah, he
first team
probably could
quality.
be, but yeah, he's not first, definitely not first team quality. Maybe he's squad player, but even right now, it's not looking like. But yeah, we need to replace Xhaka though, like
Mm.
this summer. I think that's something we really need to be looking at because Party needs a better partner in that midfield, and it's not Xhaka because he's so error prone and stuff. So we need someone else to kind of sit deep and gel the attack a bit more. But yeah.
What's it, Dan? What's your before you say your thoughts on the game and everything in general? Tell me your thoughts on Aubameyang about this captaincy thing and his form this season, and then your thoughts on the game as a whole.
Um, Aubameyang, I think people have been saying it for a while. Aubameyang's not a captain. Like he's not a vocal lead. Obviously, you don't need to be a vocal leader to be a captain, but he's not a leader at all. Like he's just a good player. I think the only reason he was given the captain's armband is one because Xhaka had that whole crazy incident with the fans where we played Crystal Palace, and obviously it was a very explosive incident where the club had to act. But and Aubameyang was the best candidate of a bad bunch, really. But Aubameyang's definitely not a captain. Definitely not. Like Aubameyang is he's a great player to have when you're doing well. But when you're not doing well, I don't think he's the best player to have. Like I don't think he's a player that will really drag you out from when you're doing badly. Obviously, he gets a lot of goals, but he's not like a massive player like that is capable of taking you from a bad team to a good team. I think he takes you from a good team to a very good team.
Can I say that something, please?
Mm-hmm.
Was this the conversation Arsenal fans were having when you won the FA Cup? When apparently Aubameyang won you the FA Cup? Am I bugging, or am I just saying? It seems like now the times is changing it. You know the ones.
I mean, the FA Cup. That's a. I think you're looking at it more like a one-off game sort of thing. Where I'm looking at it like over the course of like a season. If you're a bad team, Aubameyang's not going to change that.
You know
Like,
what? Can I add something?
mm,
I think even last season, even when Aubameyang was scoring the goals, all Arsenal fans knew that Aubameyang didn't influence games without scoring goals. That was something very clear for us to see, as compared to other strikers like we see in the league, who they create chances, they do different stuff, they influence the game all around, even sometimes when they don't score. But Aubameyang, when he doesn't score, is, I've said countless of times, useless because he doesn't really offer anything in the attack besides his goals. And now he's not scoring, so I don't know where we go from here. But yeah, Dan, carry on.
no, I agree with that. I think that's the best assessment really of Aubameyang. But as a captain, like I think one thing that has really irritated fans is when we don't play well, and especially him, he doesn't come out and do interviews. He sends out one of the young players or some David Luiz a lot of the time or Lacazette to kind of bear the front of the interviews questions. But then when we play well and we win, he's the first one to come out and do an interview, which I don't know. It's not a good sign anyway, because usually like even David Luiz, say what you want about David Luiz, but he always comes out and takes responsibility. He's a leader. David Luiz is a leader, even though his performances might not always be up to par. He's definitely a leader. Like an example is Man City last season. He came off the bench when Mari got injured and had two howlers, got sent off in about 20 minutes, and he was the first player to come out, do the interview, and say it's my fault. I don't think I've ever seen Aubameyang take the blame for anything, ever. But anyway, moving away from Aubameyang, the game didn't really tell me anything that I didn't already know. Like it didn't. Obviously, like I was very, very annoyed because getting battered 3-0 at home is not good at all. Like it's really, really poor from Arsenal. But in the grand scheme of things, I'd really lost interest in the league from an Arsenal perspective because there was nothing really for us to play for at this point. I think all our eggs are in the Europa League basket and just hoping that we win the Europa League. But we have to just look at overall, and it's been an awful season for Arsenal. Really, really awful, dreadful season. Like as you showed a second ago, Josh. Like we're on equal points with Leeds. Leeds, a team that got promoted last year, and like if you look at Leeds' team, they don't have like they play in a very good system and they play nice football and whatnot. But Leeds don't have half the players that we have. Like a lot of their players are very well, not very poor, but they're not top level players. So I think a lot of that blame can be attributed to, in my opinion, the manager. I think the way he set us out was very, very poor against Liverpool, especially, and I think that's not absolving the players of responsibility because some of them are not good enough at all. Like I was saying 2 days ago, Lacazette, his time's come and gone. He needs to go. He's, in my opinion, we got rid of Giroud, and Giroud was like everyone in all the Arsenal fans said Giroud's not good enough. I remember him being called a 15 million pound lamppost at the time. But Giroud would get you 15 goals a season, good link up play. Obviously, he'd miss a lot of chances, but 15 goals a season is what he'd get you. Lacazette has never got 15 goals a season. His link up play is lazy. He doesn't press. He gives away silly fouls. He can't hold up the ball. Lacazette, and this is meant to be one of his good seasons, and he's not good enough. Like he needs to go. Xhaka, even though we missed him against Liverpool, he's not good enough. Bellerin definitely needs to go, even though Bellerin didn't, these players didn't play against Liverpool. I think the fact that we didn't miss them says a lot. Like, but I don't think Arsenal would have done any better if we had the likes of Bellerin in the team. Like Bellerin, Xhaka, Lacazette, Holding. Holding is, I don't know how he's been awarded a new contract when he's just a really mediocre defender. And I don't even know if he is a mediocre defender because he seems to get beaten in the air all the time by strikers that are a lot smaller than him.
No, I don't. That's I don't. I'm not blaming him for that Trent cross, man. That was a very good cross.
This is not the only time he's done that this season. He let Raheem Sterling. How many times does Raheem Sterling score headers?
I need to see that one again.
That's poor. That one was really poor.
It was poor.
One of that's very.
It
bad.
wasn't. It was worse than the Jota one. But yeah, the Jota one he could have probably done a bit better. It was a good cross, but still.
But yeah, I think we definitely miss Saka and Smith Rowe. That's one thing I'll say. We definitely miss Saka and Smith Rowe. And like the game, I think the reason why, like, because 3-0 is a poor result, but it's not like a result where we've faced in the past where we got battered 5-1 or 5-0 when we've gone away to Anfield. But like this, the reason why this result I think may even be worse than them is because how poor we played. I think we only managed one shot, and that shot was
Three shots.
a very feeble shot. A very like Odegaard didn't get the ball at all. I don't remember us actually creating any chances. Like and Liverpool weren't good either. Like Liverpool were pretty mediocre for long parts of the game.
I think they controlled the game quite easily.
They played well. They played well.
I think they played well.
I didn't think they were that good. I'll be honest. I didn't think they were that. When you compare Liverpool to Liverpool standards,
yeah, they were very comfortable. They didn't have to reach second gear. They were just controlling, bopping the ball around.
I mean, it took them about an hour to score.
Yeah, even
against
the
a very
centre
poor
backs.
Arsenal team.
The centre backs didn't have to do anything.
Until Jota came on, they weren't taking the chances.
Yeah, until Jota came on, they didn't really score anything.
No, I think they were decent because they did
decent. They played well before, yeah, but then they just weren't finishing their chances and stuff like that.
Yeah, but as I was saying, I don't think that wasn't Liverpool's like best. They weren't in top gear.
It wasn't. Yeah, they weren't.
They weren't fantastic, especially by Liverpool standards. Like that wasn't their best, and they beat us comfortably. Like I think there's a stat that Kabak, he didn't have to make a single tackle, single interception, single block, nothing. He was basically standing there the whole game. Him and Nat Phillips, who people have been looking at like they're not good enough. So Arsenal, this game obviously is very annoying, but it's not showed us anything that we don't know already. Arsenal are a team that need to go big in the summer, like need to go big. Otherwise, if Arsenal have another poor summer where they invest lazily and go after targets that are just cheap and easily attainable, then I can see us dropping even further down the table. Because I know teams like Everton are going to be serious in the transfer window with Carlo Ancelotti, and I know Leicester are definitely going to try and improve on what they've already done. So we are I think we're in big trouble. Whether we get the Europa League or not is irrelevant in my opinion, because even if we win the Europa League and we play in the Champions League next season, we'll be embarrassed. We will be embarrassed in the Champions League. So Arsenal, yeah, I think the less said about our performance, the better.
Denzel, what was your thoughts on Arsenal before we move on to Liverpool soon?
Nothing new, man. It's just the same old, same old. It's like a pattern with Arsenal. It's just they have a couple good games. Everyone hypes up mid, and then they show you what they really are when they come against certain teams. Obviously, it's a Liverpool team that's been struggling, so they had a chance. But like we said, Liverpool really never got out of second gear, to be honest. They were more focused on the Real Madrid tie. They were taking off players like Kabach in the second half and all that. They weren't taking it too serious, and they still comfortably won. So it shows you the levels, even with the like dented Liverpool side, they still patterned Arsenal pretty comfortably. So yeah, it's just the same old with Arsenal, man. There's nothing new happening. I haven't got much more to say.
And then Sarah?
Yeah, I think it's one of the worst games of the season for Arsenal. Like, I mean, where do we start? Like, I don't know. It's just like to start off with. I think you've got to question Arteta a little bit as well. Like matching up a 3 versus 2 in the midfield, and Odegaard had to track back, and the reason he didn't even track back that much, but he was actually non-existent in the game. I mean, your fabled front three. This is meant to be your front three, Lacazette, Pepe, and Aubameyang. But I mean, the hardest working one was Pepe, who was just running around like a headless chicken. Aubameyang is, he's just a passenger on the left wing. He's just sitting there. You almost played too obvious. You were trying to get him in behind so much against Trent that it was so obvious for Liverpool to suss that out. You only mustered like 2 shots on target as well, which I don't think there were really big chances as well, if I remember correctly. And there's other things as well. Like this is another big week in Arsenal's season. This is a big week for Liverpool as well. Liverpool have got to go away to Madrid on tomorrow night, Tuesday. So they're literally going now, and they've beaten you comfortably 3-0. You've got to play Slavia at home on Thursday. So like you need to get your priorities correct. I think the Tierney injury. I think, it's sad to see Tierney go. I think he's been a shining light in that team. I don't know how long he's out for, but it didn't look too bad. But yeah, man. Like with regards to your summer, like you need a lot of players, and not even just squad players, man. Like the fact that you're like even the fact that you have to say that you're relying on Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe is just not good to see, because their academy products just come through and they're going to be put on under all this pressure. You might need to recall players like Torreira to play with Partey, because I don't know how you're going to sign those players. I just can't see it happening.
Torreira wants to go back to Boca Juniors.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. I think Arsenal season will be defined by what's happened in the last probably couple of weeks. You've got through the Europa League by playing like that, and David Luiz maybe playing on Thursday might have to. It just sums it up, to be honest. Like it's not.
Does it change anything though? Let's be honest. Winning the Europa League, does it really change anything in terms of the way Arsenal play and the state we're in right now? Because let's say we win the Europa League and the fan base gets excited that we're back in the Champions League and we won this European trophy. We still have these major problems in our team, and the only difference is we're playing the best teams in Europe. We'll get embarrassed if we go in the
Does
Champions
winning
League.
the Europa League enable us to have a better transfer window?
Definitely, because you have more money to spend.
That's true.
But there's so many gaps in that team.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
I do feel there's a sense of you're being a bit too reactionary.
Really?
I feel
This
like
isn't a
Arsenal-
Jurgen
know,
Klopp
this has been
situation where
coming.
you can fix
You
No,
know
it.
what?
Arsenal-
I really just think there is 3 signings we need to change the squad.
That's what I'm about to say. I think it's only 3 or 4 like first team signings that Arsenal
Yeah,
needs to
because
make.
let's
A
let's
right
think
back,
about this. Yeah,
Yeah.
right back,
Right
a
back.
central midfielder and a creator, either an attacking midfielder or a left winger.
So you
I
don't need
think.
a
And
striker.
Crater is not
So
even.
you
You
don't need
think,
a forward.
wait. You think your
You
striker's
need-
good enough?
Exactly.
You think
My
your strikers?
strikers up.
Do you think your strikers are good enough?
I think if we're in a system where we create a lot of chances, Aubameyang would get goals.
True.
Wait.
Like-
So your centre forward, you're telling me your centre forward is good enough?
Well, Aubameyang.
Aubameyang.
Aubameyang comes off the wing though, like he's not at ST.
I mean, only at Arsenal he's done that. When he was
He
at
was-
Dortmund, he played up
but
front.
he originally is a centre forward, and he has played centre forward a lot of times this season, and he has gotten goals when he has played there. I
So
think
why is
it's just kind of a thing where like we need a creator to like feed the chances, because I can't say we need a striker and then there are just too many signings if you think about it, because we can potentially get a striker, a central midfielder, a right back, a left winger, or I think it's all too much. So what I'm willing to cut on is as a striker, and I just, unless we can get someone on a free, someone like Aguero maybe, but I don't know.
never happened?
Yeah,
I feel
something
like
that,
Arsenal.
but-
You just said a striker Aubameyang with winger. I mean, if you get Odegaard, I mean that's okay. But a winger isn't a major priority. I think the major priority is in the midfield and a right back. Those are
I
the
agree.
two
midfield
major.
and a right back, yeah. But I still feel we need like a creator in the team besides, even if we do retain Odegaard, I feel we need someone else, because like you said, we can't be relying on Saka and Smith Rowe. They're not going to be playing 38 games every season.
I can't lie, but sound like a Pepe is a good enough backup or a rotational player.
Yeah, but on the left, we don't. Wait, do we have any left wingers in our squad? We literally
I mean-
do not, because I'm not going to call
left winger,
Aubameyang. I'm not going to call
Pepe's a
Aubameyang
right
a left
winger.
winger.
Oh, yeah,
Aubameyang-
Pepe's a right winger, yeah.
Aubameyang is
Only Smith Rowe,
Saka's a
really, and
right
he's not
winger
going to
as well.
start.
Well, who?
Smith Rowe, but he's not going to play
Yeah,
38
Smith
games.
Rowe,
a
but
season.
he's not going to start exactly. He's not going to start every game. Odegaard can play out wide too, but Odegaard's not really a left winger. So at the end of the day, I feel like a left winger is something we have to be looking into. Someone
But
who
we
can.
have to.
You got too
Sorry, go
many
on.
actually then, because you might as well ship
Well,
out
I'm
Marcelli
going-
on loan then.
I'm going to say, you know what? I'd say we should keep Odegaard on loan for at least a year, so that it kind of like frees up funds and we don't have to like go and look for an attacking midfield and stuff.
We need to
But-
just manage our assets though, because we have like loads of players. Number one, out on loan, and number two, just in the squad. So
Yeah.
like players like Guendouzi, Torreira, and
Yeah,
Nketiah,
exactly.
Bellerin,
Yeah.
Chambers. We need to
Yeah.
just like make a decision on them.
Yeah.
Reece Nelson, are we
Yeah.
gonna play them or are they gonna be sold?
Yeah,
Because there's
exactly,
no
yeah.
point just having them in the squad,
Because
having them on
we can
loan if they're not
potentially
playing.
like make a lot of money from our transfers this summer, because we have a lot of players that we
They're
can
very
afford.
young. A lot of them are very young.
And Nketiah, like I said, because we're not going to sell any young player for less than 20 mil. So at the end of the day, it's like Nketiah is going to go for about 20.
We'll see. We'll see. We don't sell usually that
We
well.
don't usually sell that well, but I don't know. Especially with the COVID market, it's kind of hard. But we'll just have to see how it goes. But we just need a few signings. I don't think we need like a whole like squad.
A few
overhaul.
signings to do what though? To what?
Yeah,
Get into
that's-
the top six? Is
I
that,
don't
is that
think,
what
do
you?
you guys
Top four.
understand how Liverpool were poor before Van Dijk came. I hope we do realize that.
Yeah.
No, they weren't poor.
I
They
think-
were
Nah,
good.
they weren't.
They were very good.
They weren't
attack
as poor as
defensively.
Arsenal.
They weren't
weren't
poor.
They weren't as poor as
They weren't
Arsenal.
poor.
They weren't as
as
poor,
Arsenal.
but Van Dijk took them from a top 6 team to a Champions
They were
League
top
winning
four.
team.
They were easily top
Yeah, they
four.
were the top 4 kind of.
So
Yeah.
he took them from a top 4 team to a Champions League winning team. So what we need are
Yeah.
signings to take us to a top
Which
4
are
team at the
finances.
moment. So we need to go into the top 4 right now. Then we now need to work on how we can go back.
But there's so many teams better than us though. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Man City is better than us. Liverpool's better than us. Chelsea right now are better than us. Man United are better than us. Leicester are better than us. Spurs, you could say, are better than us.
One thing that I'm going to have to stress is the gap isn't big though. That's the thing.
You
The
don't
gap
think?
isn't big. The gap is
Between-
not big.
Between Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool, and Man City, we are far off them 4 teams.
Are you
Chelsea
telling
and Man
agree.
United,
are you
you're not
telling me
that far from
I think
them.
we are.
No,
I think
they
we
are. I
They
think-
are.
I
They
think
are. They are.
I think
They
we
are.
are.
Look at their season.
are.
Look at their season, and tell me they're not far off.
I have to be real. end of the season, I'm gonna really look at Arteta because I remember Dan was saying he's not been impressed, and I did really agree. And then Oriole's like, you have to give him a summer, but I'm really like 50-50 with this guy.
Does he
You
deserve
really
the
don't
summer?
think, you really don't think that he shouldn't get, he should be sacked? Is that what you guys
At the
Let
end
me
of the
wait till
season-
the summer, innit? Let me wait
If
till the
we're
end of the
being
season.
real-
But if you come 8th, no, nah, I can't.
If we're being real, if we look at this season, it's been absolutely whack. He shouldn't have his job.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay, so
100%.
so what you guys are saying is that we get a new manager and the manager comes on and he would the new manager would possibly take us back to where we belong. Is that what? Because if a new manager comes in and also doesn't do well, where do we go from there?
No,
That's
because
just my-
I understand what you're saying, Ori, before in terms of that he hasn't been given the tools that he needs, and the tools that he's been dealt with haven't helped him. I definitely agree with your point, but it's just like
He's underperforming with the tools he's got.
I'm not expecting him to be like top 4 right now, but you should be
but
like in a position
what-
of like an
He's
Everton
10th.
minimum.
Exactly. What I just want to see, just even if it's just once, even if it's just for a phase, I just want to see Arteta with a squad that is actually
That's what I
actually
want to see.
decent. Because I've never said since Arteta has come, we haven't had a good squad at all. He won the FA Cup with Mustafi, So at the end of the day, I just want to see him with a good crop of players, even if it's just a short sample size.
I mean, but I think even that is a stretch though, because if you ask Arsenal fans, Arsenal fans will tell you that Bernd Leno's top 5 keepers in the league. They'll say Tierney's top 3 left backs in the league. Gabriel at one point was one of the best centre backs.
I've always said Schmeichel's better than both of them.
Gabriel was one of the best centre backs. Partey's one of the best
Josh
midfielders
loves
in the league.
Schmeichel.
Aubameyang's one of the best goal scorers in the league. Saka's the best youngster in the league. So if you have all this and you're coming 10th, surely it's the manager.
exactly. Thank you.
It is, yeah.
In terms,
Sometimes he looks clueless on the touchline. He genuinely does not look like he knows what he's doing.
Ori, I 100% agree with you that he does deserve a summer to have the players that he needs, but at the same time, you have to also earn the right. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Has he earned the right?
Has he earned the right to spend 200 million?
Exactly.
Has he earned the right? This is
okay,
a
but
30-year-old
Lampard
manager.
earned the right to spend 200 million. But
And
he
look
has
where it
not
got
done that.
them.
No, Lampard
And
actually
he's
did though.
Lampard don't have a
And he
job
got
though.
sacked.
Yeah.
No,
And
but
he
when
did
you actually
okay
deep it,
season.
let's actually be honest.
So
Let's
why
actually
hasn't
be
he
honest.
been given the chance to spend the 200 mil, and then if he does poorly, then get sacked?
I know, but I hear that. But wait. Lampard actually. Let's look at it here. Did Chelsea's team that Lampard inherited, was it better than Arteta's one that he has now?
Yeah, it was.
Yes, it is.
They won Europa League the season before
Are
and
you
came
sure?
top 4.
Chelsea's
The
team was
team
better.
won all that, man. The team won all that, though.
The team was better still. The team
No, it
was
wasn't.
better.
Chelsea's
It
team
was
was
slightly.
better.
It went. miles better
Chelsea's
than
team was
Arsenal.
better.
It's probably the same level. It's probably
Nah, it was
Chelsea
better.
did not have.
Chelsea's team was better.
Nah,
It was.
This guy,
Should we
this
go
guy
through
was
it?
playing with kids. He was playing.
It wasn't
go
far
through
though. It wasn't
playing
far
with
different.
kids.
Kepa and Leno, who's better?
Leno's better than Kepa.
Yeah.
And then who's right back? Who would we say? Aspilicueta or Reece James as a right back?
Both of them are better than our right back.
The fact that you have two.
And then centre backs. It was Rudiger and Zuma, let's say, versus Gabriel and
Perfectly
Luis.
good.
They're the same level. Left back. Who was left back? Alonso.
And Emerson.
Then
we had two.
midfield, Jorginho and Kovacic versus
And Kante.
Kante was out a lot for last season though.
I mean, Partey's been out for
And then
that's true.
Xhaka and Ceballos. I say Jorginho and Kante are better. No, Jorginho and Kovacic are better.
Your whole
But the level is not big.
Your whole midfield is possibly clear of ours.
Mm.
When
If
Lampard-
you look
pretty
at
much
the
the same level.
defense, the defense is
and
on a
then
similar
you have to
level.
remember we didn't have.
And then
defense is on a
the
similar level.
offense of Willian, Pulisic, and Abraham versus Aubameyang. Who else? Saka and.
Okay. And
You're telling me
in
this
fact,
team's not the
you
same
could-
level?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same level, man. You can't
It
lie.
is.
And
No,
Lampard got better.
you're right.
Same level. It's the
No.
same
Fair
level.
enough.
So when
Arteta's still
so
flopping, man. We need
on
to stop making
paper,
excuses for him.
he did when he got a better squad, he did relatively worse.
Yeah. But I'm saying Lampard actually had the right. He had the Lampard
Yeah, he
actually
did.
has. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if Arteta actually has that. But obviously, we have to wait till the end of the season.
Because let's put it like this, yeah. Let's put it like this. Let's say because Arsenal in the past, let's look at I think it was the 16-17 season. We spent 100 million. We spent 100 million on Xhaka, Mustafi, and Lucas Perez. That set us back probably about 4 years. Because 100 million on them 3 players is awful business. So if we go in the window and we spend 100 million this window on another 3 or 4 whack players, that's going to set us back another 2-3 years. And if the manager's not right on top of that, we're in big trouble.
I think with Arsenal, we have to wait to the end of the season before we really
But nothing. It
That's
doesn't
thing.
change nothing though. It doesn't
No,
change
but-
Yeah,
anything.
I don't think anything changes. My decision, what I think now, is not going to change at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think I've been saying.
He needs a good window. He needs one. I'm telling you, if he isn't, come December next season, if we do have a good window, he isn't performing, then he is what he is. I don't
I
believe
hear
he
that.
wouldn't be, because obviously I am confident he will be. But if it's not, if it's a case where he has a good crop of players who are not playing well, then you know what,
Yeah, I hear that.
But the last window, who did we sign? We signed Gabriel and we signed Party. Those are probably been one of our best players this season. Gabriel has been good this season, and Party hasn't really played this season, but
You could tell yesterday that he showed
But you can
glimpses.
tell that the
But
players
that
were-
always happens though.
the
It's
only-
always the
the
first
only-
season because after Arsenal fans signed Torreira and Guendouzi, we would have told you after the first season that they were two of the best signings. They're out on loan.
Mm.
So
Mm.
like it's always a short term with Arsenal.
So one thing, so a good window for you would be what, 3 to 4 starters, and then come December you're in the top 6.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I feel
Okay.
like from now we have to be working on getting into the around the top 6. And you know what, this season my expectations for this season was actually top 6. So we have seriously underperformed in terms of that. I expected us to challenge for top 6 this season and then next season push for top 4. But we're kind of set back, So in terms of next season, we have to be around. We have to not even compete for top 6, but we have to comfortably be in top 6.
Yeah, you have to be in it. Yeah.
With good signings. So right back, centre mid, probably a centre forward. I don't know, but I feel our manager should be able to decide what signings we need and which areas in his squad he thinks is the weakest. Because if he doesn't bring in the right players or the right players to fit into the particular system and stuff like that, then the whole team is just going to collapse. Because one issue for Lampard was the signings that he brought in. And, a lot of people say that some of them may not have been his decision, some may have been, but, because if Werner started, scoring goals and Havertz was hitting in form, Lampard would probably still be in job and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, the signings you make are very important, which is why I feel this window would really determine how we would move forward. But to me, nothing has changed in terms of how I see it. I still think we need to give him time for sure.
100. I do hear that, man. What's there to talk about Liverpool, really? I mean, Jota's come back. He's back in.
I just want to quickly highlight the Trent twerking needs to stop.
Yes, 100%.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Like literally, this guy put in one good ball, and Michael Richards is saying is the best right back for England again.
Even though he's been poor all season.
He puts in one good ball, and everyone forgets that he can't.
No, he actually did play well.
He did actually. But it's getting.
He had no one to
ridiculous.
mark.
It's getting ridiculous. This guy does one thing in
was
the
actually
game.
good though. His passing was good.
Yeah, but Josh, are we going to say that Nat Phillips is the best centre back in England because of his performance?
I don't care about what the media say. I know they like
the whole
to do it too
game.
much.
You know what? The media basically do this to themselves because initially Trent was so overhyped. Then suddenly he doesn't play well. Then everybody starts to overdo it and say he's so bad, he's so horrible. Even though he really isn't bad. Trent isn't bad right back.
I remember Ori had the biggest agenda, and now this guy's back in trend. I remember.
I had the biggest agenda.
You can't defend, man. You can't
defend. The thing about agendas is that when it gets to the point where it's like for instance, Thiago, like I always rated Thiago, but the hype for when he was coming to England, people expected him to, I don't know what they expected from him, whether he was going to
They watched him once in the Champions League and thought he was like
exactly.
God sent from Spain.
And thought he was the next Ronaldinho or something.
Exactly. So that's
I've never seen a midfielder dribble before.
So when people now come on media and they now start like putting them down, it's like, what did you expect really? I mean, everybody knew Trent couldn't defend. Everybody knew when Van Dijk left, he was going to be exposed. So it's happening now. Why is everybody acting surprised? Why was everybody calling him one of the best right backs of all time? When, you can clearly see that he could have just been rated appropriately from the start, but people had to overdo it. And now so it's all just going to be flip-flop throughout his career. When he's playing poorly, people say, oh, he's not that good. When he starts playing well again. So, things like that are just very, right now, I think I've always thought Trent was a good right back. I never thought he was poor. I just said he was poor defensively, but he's a right back you want your team, especially in the right system. If you have two good centre backs and you push up front.
That's the issue. The right system.
Exactly, the right system. But
yeah.
And I hear that. Well, is there anything really to touch on Liverpool? Obviously,
Tomorrow.
the
No,
defense.
tomorrow will be where we
Yeah,
see what
yeah.
happens.
Yeah, to be honest. Yeah, man. Let's move on to another top four challenger now in Chelsea. You actually got pumped. They got pumped at a bridge. Man said they made West Brom look like Brazil, man. 1970 Brazil. Man,
Matheus
Big Sam
Pereira
was telling me
showing
to
off.
put it about, man. Hey, but my thoughts on the game, I can't lie. Right now, I think it's just a blip in it. It's just a one-off thing in it. Because for Chelsea to concede 5, obviously going down to 10 men, that's not an excuse to concede 5 goals. That's against West Brom to even concede 3 goals against West Brom. That's abysmal. But it's a blip because we've known how strong Chelsea are defensively under Tuchel, and it's not been no what's it called? It hasn't been by fluke. It's been by generally like good tactics and the good defensive system and structure. But I think offensively, it's even hard to judge it offensively because we went down to 10 men quite early, and then we took off Ziyech as well. But yeah, man, I just think it was a fluke result, to be honest. But yeah, what's your you man's thoughts on it, Sarab?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not really too far. I know it's like a big result, but like Tuchel hasn't really focused on the attack since he's really been there. He hasn't. He's focused on making a really good defense. He's stuck with that 5 at the back, and it's got you guys results. And probably like you've done really well to get to where you were. He's probably realised now, yeah, okay, there's something maybe wrong with Werner, even though he's still playing. I still think Werner's playing well in games. He's just, he's got the worst confidence at the moment. And like little things as well. Like, I know you went down to 10 men, but like he still stayed with 3 at the back until like the last 15 minutes. Like things like that. Like just take off a centre back, bring on an attacker. You have an amazing bench. Use it. I mean, you guys. I don't know. Top 4. I don't know. You're in my eyes. You should still get top 4 definitely. He's shown maybe that, like, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. Like we saw some things this morning about Rudiger and like little things like because he's a control freak and he focuses on all the little things in the game, but it gets to a point as well, like he needs to just let the attack go loose. Like don't put a lid on everything and let players go forward. But yeah, I think with regards to how Tuchel's done and how Chelsea are doing, they've done well, and it's a good result for West Brom. But I don't think they'll stay up.
Denzel, what's your thoughts on the game?
West Brom played really well. Like the goals, they weren't like scruffy goals. They were well taken goals. I have to give them their credit. Obviously Silva had a nightmare with the red card. I don't think Chelsea fans should be too worried. I think it was just a once in a blue moon type thing. Obviously, it was the first time you've lost by that much at the bridge in a while. But it's nothing too much to be worried about. But maybe it's a little welcome to the Premier League for Tuchel because of he's obviously not used to small teams. Or maybe he is because it happened to him in Liga and then Bundesliga a couple of times as well. But obviously the Prem's different. So maybe it's just a little welcome to the Prem type gift. But nothing too much to be worried about. They shouldn't get too scared from the result.
Dan?
Yeah, as Denzel said, I don't think we should be looking too much into it. Obviously, you went a man down. Me personally, I didn't think it was a red card. I thought it was very harsh to be a red card.
Yeah.
Apparently the first, I missed it. Apparently the
second
first
yellow
yellow card. The first yellow card, it should have been a red because apparently he stopped her. Because I missed that one. Apparently he stopped.
Yeah,
like
I didn't see the first yellow, but the
apparently
second one was definitely harsh.
What you say,
But
Aaron?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the first one, I don't think I saw the first one. I think I had it was meant to be a red, but I don't know. Either way, yeah, I think, he was probably getting sent off that match for one way or the other. But
Wait, before you come on to you, Dan, innit? Before we come on to you, innit? Yeah, Dan, finish your point.
Yeah, I was saying like we shouldn't really look into it too much with Chelsea. Like it's a blip result. Obviously, I think it was strange that it was Big Sam than anyone to score 5 goals. Like I think that shows even more that we shouldn't look too much into it because Big Sam's never scoring 5 goals again. The one thing that I would say that was worrying is Pulisic. This is another time he's been injured and he came running out of the tunnel and pulled his hamstring. Like this season he's been in my opinion, he's probably been the biggest disappointment for Chelsea, just given what he done at the end of last season and how this season he's either been injured or if ineffective. Like I'd hope for Chelsea moving forward that he can really find his feet again like he did after lockdown and just kind of stay fit really, because being injured all the time is not gonna help. Like you need to, for him, he needs to like, because at the end of and the restart, sorry, he found his form and was playing game after game and playing well and playing consistently. But then this playing 1 week and getting injured for 3 weeks the next and then coming on to 20 minutes, it's not gonna help him moving forward. And in a Chelsea attack which already struggles really for goals, like it's not looking good for the future. And I think that's why people say that Tuchel's not looked really to the attackers, because there's nothing really you can do at this point. Like Tammy Abrahams is the top scorer,
Yeah.
and the
Doesn't
rest of
even
them
play.
are,
He's all everywhere he's been. He's always made a decent attack. So like,
Exactly.
I reckon it will come through. It will come through.
I reckon
Wait,
in the
wait.
summer.
Wait, Tammy Abraham's there.
I thought
Yeah,
the league.
Jorginho was.
I
No.
think it's
For
Jorginho.
real?
I thought Jorginho
Wait,
was actually.
Tammy Abraham is their top. For
In all
real?
comps, he is. Even in the Premier League, he's joint top.
Oh, in all
Mhm.
comps, yeah.
In all
Oh,
no,
of
even in the
course.
Premier League, he's joint
In the
top
Premier
scorer
League, he's
JJ.
joint top. Chelsea have
fair.
been harsh with Tammy, very harsh.
Very, yeah.
Isn't he
Yeah, Ori,
injured?
what are
As
you
much
gonna
as
say?
I don't think he is a Chelsea level striker, I feel like his treatment has been very harsh. I don't know what he needs to do to start over some certain players, but you know,
Mm.
Certain man we're gonna talk about later. Don't worry.
Mm.
Well, Ori, yeah, what were you saying?
yeah, I think it was just kind of a reality check, the game. One thing I kind of really hate is how when teams collapse after going 10 men down, especially a club like Chelsea against West Brom. I don't think he should be completely collapsing after going 10 men down. I feel like it's something Tuchel hasn't really prepared for in terms of how he sets up. He hasn't prepared for playing with 10 men, which is something you need to do in management, because the whole shape after, you know, they had the red card just, you know,
It stayed the
looked very
same.
poor.
He didn't adapt.
Yeah, it wasn't really like they tried to create chances, but you know, the gaps they left in a way just kind of like allowed West Brom to exploit them very easily and stuff. But yeah, I don't think it's something they should be worried about. You know, it's just one of those things where, you know, that just always happens in the Premier League. But top four, yeah, I do think they should possibly make the top four. 8 games left now. I don't think they have a very tough run. I don't know their run, but I don't think it's that
I think they have a
bad.
hard like last 3 games. I can't lie. I think it was like
Yeah, they've got to play. City,
Was it Leicester that had it? I think it was
Yeah,
Leicester.
you
Arsenal
have
at home,
City. Yeah, you have City still. Yeah.
and someone else.
still
Yeah.
got Arsenal to play on them.
Mm.
Remember, I think
That's
it
not
might have
annoying.
I don't
Leicester as
think
well.
that should be. I don't think that should be a trouble for you too much.
Yeah, our
Um,
last three. No, wow, we got West Ham. So these are our last 6 games. West Ham, Fulham. We should beat Fulham. Man City, Arsenal, Leicester, and then Aston Villa. So that's
That
quite
is
tough.
tough. That
that
is
is
tough.
a tough run.
Tough,
That is a
that's
tough
tough.
run.
It's tough,
Most
man.
of the teams are around you or near you. So,
Yeah.
That is a tough run. Yeah, we'll just see how they take it and handle it. If they don't make top four, I mean, it wouldn't be that. You know, it would be kind of disappointing. You know, because
Yeah.
You should make top four. You're the
No,
strongest
no,
team.
but the position
sure.
that we're in now
Yeah.
is a failure if he doesn't. If we don't make top
Yeah.
4. Obviously,
Yeah,
at the
that
start
is
you'll
true.
say if he didn't make it, that's not bad. But when you're in the position now, like a Leicester, if
yeah,
Leicester
then
don't
you
make top
should
4,
be-
that's a failure for them.
I think they
no matter how
drop
strong
out.
they are.
Their running's hard. They've got 3 very hard last games.
Yeah.
I think the difference with Leicester this year is that they do the injuries, like the players are actually coming back. Remember last year when they were getting the injuries, more and more players
Yeah.
were dropping out. So I think this year's a bit of an opposite.
Yeah. And they've got better players coming back. Like Ricardo Perez back, Madison's back. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think my only issue with Tuchel has always been the thing with Tammy. Well, I know Tammy's not like a top class striker yet, but the guy's shown that he can score goals, isn't it? And I know you might not rate him, but one of the issues for Chelsea is that you're not looking potent going forward. And the issue is that we don't even create many clear-cut chances anyway. And I think it's because we lack another player in the midfield. But talking about we're not being potent, let's go into the flops discussions. I wanted to mention only 3 players, but there was one player I wanted to mention was Donny, but I think that's kind of peak on him because he hasn't played
That's
in it.
harsh. He hasn't,
Yeah.
he
It's
hasn't
very
been
harsh.
Exactly. So I mean, all the real flops this season have been the Chelsea players. Really, there hasn't really been. Or is there any others?
Let me have a look.
Because you can say I'm not gonna put Havertz in because he's actually looked a bit decent on the
putting
season.
Havertz in. I'm putting Havertz in. It's trash.
Yeah,
This
no, I
season
think
he's
you have
been
to.
trash.
You have to. He cost
Yeah,
that much
he's
and he's
been
done nothing.
He goes in there. 100%.
Yeah, I don't think you should really use the value as a reason to. But in terms of playing,
I'm not even talking about value. It's just been trash.
Mm.
No, because overall he has been, but I'm just looking like kind of under Tuchel. His performances have improved, in my opinion.
But
But
we're looking at him from when he stepped in Chelsea to now. He's been a flop.
Because I was looking at Werner and CH, and under Tuchel their performances haven't really elevated anyway. So, when I looked at Havertz, his performances against Everton is better than all of the 3 put together. Like he was actually more involved actually ZH at times under Lampard was decent, but so it's just been poor really. But no, there hasn't been really any other flops in it.
I can't
think
think
a
of
lot-
any really.
Because there hasn't been a lot of big money
But I feel
signings.
that's kind of harsh on him because he's really young, but still.
Who?
Fabio Silva.
Oh yeah.
That's tough. That is so tough. To
Nah,
finish-
it's not tough, man.
He wasn't even meant to be a star.
And he's been man.
Yeah,
he wasn't meant to
but
start.
you remember
And they
still,
signed William
40
Jose in January.
40 mil.
No,
Come on.
but you can tell they were trying to phase him in slowly with the Jimenez thing.
Yeah,
Jimenez
they
is
were,
29, and then
Yeah,
from
he's
next
still
few
very young, which is why I
forwards-
feel it's kind of harsh.
Yeah.
Well,
But when he comes on, he doesn't do anything when he comes on.
True.
He's
He
coming
has
off the
had
bench.
some moments that he's done, influenced the game, won penalties, stuff like that. But in general, yeah, I
But
think
Wolves in general haven't been good at going attacking wise.
No,
So
they haven't.
I mean, terrible.
But let's start with Werner. Werner for me is kind of similar to like Aubameyang. Aubameyang's a better overall footballer than Werner, but I kind of just look at them as just goal scorers. Like outside of the goals, they're not really going to offer you anything. Can you see with Werner, his touch is terrible. Yeah, link up play, you might have 1 or 2 good passes, but overall he's just a very poor footballer. But my issues now is just like the sort of privileges he's getting now. This guy is consistently performing so poorly, and yet he's still playing. We saw with ZH, people were talking just like a couple of weeks ago, ZH might leave Chelsea. We'll saw with Havertz, there was a period where Havertz didn't play at all, but it seems like with Werner, he's consistently being played. And he's a big factor of why we can't also create chances, because if you look at times, we played him like almost like he describes himself like a left 10
He's a
or something
striker
like
playing on the left wing,
Yeah.
basically.
And we could use that position to play someone like a Hudson-Odoi or even a ZH or a Havertz in that sense to add more creativity. So for me, I don't know. I'm not with this thing, if you drop him, you're going to decrease his
But why?
confidence.
I don't think it's just the manager, though. Can I ask, why do Chelsea fans protect him so much? Because I'll be real, from a rival point of view, I don't fear Timo Werner at all. I think he's actually rubbish. When I watch him, I think he's horrible. But he seems to be so protected, whereas players like Tammy seem to be thrown under the bus.
I think it's just a stock that people put on him. We always talk about this then, how people don't really like to show face in it. Once they say something, they don't like to back down on it. So it's one of them ones they put so much high stock, because they were saying we're going to win the league, innit? Them ones, and that Werner was going to bag all this amount. And this thing, I know people are going to talk about the Bundesliga tax, like the guy below us, but the guy's had big chances. It don't really matter what league you're in. You should be scoring them.
Even internationally, he missed the open goal against Macedonia, and they lost the game.
Exactly. And the thing with Werner, when you signed him, you had people saying this guy's going to bag the most goals. People were predicting he was going to be top goal scorer in the Prem. And look at him now. You cannot protect this guy anymore. You can't. Even Tuchel, when he was saying, I don't let him go for extra training drills when it comes to finishing, or he shouldn't be thinking about his finishing and all that. He should be thinking about his finishing because he can't finish. You're right when it comes to the overprotecting aspect of it. They're doing too much with the Werner
And
protection.
it's not as if like in that Chelsea team he's actually had a lot of minutes. Like you could say maybe for Ziyech and Pulisic they've had injuries, but they haven't really played as much as they probably wanted to. But Werner's had minutes, probably one of the most in the attack.
Let me show you Ziyech's one, because when I was looking at it, this guy hasn't actually had like a stable run.
He's barely played, I think.
And obviously with Ziyech, briefly touching on to him, kind of similar to Bruno, high risk, high reward player. You see, he always likes to do that cross pass, innit? He's
Yeah.
always trying to do something.
But with Bruno, there's an end though. Like with Bruno, you can look at him and he'll get a goal, he'll get an assist. With Ziyech, I look at him, I see him play these balls, and I'll be honest, I don't see them lead to anything. A lot of them, I just see him like throwing the
A
ball
lot
away.
of them
Like at
cross
least with
field to
Bruno,
the back post. They just
Yeah,
always go
that's
to the
what he
back
loves to do,
post.
innit?
yeah,
But no,
like at least
but
with Bruno, you can see him like he may waste the ball, but he'll get a goal or assist that game, so you can justify it. With Ziyech, I can't really see that, to be honest.
So you see when he first came, he had the knee injury. Then he had the period under Lampard sort of thing where he played a lot. Then he had the hip injury, he was out. Then he came. Then what's it? I think this is when Tuchel came, sort of thing, around here. And then he didn't play again. So Ziyech hasn't really had like consistent, like where he's gone like 7 or 8 games consistently being played since Lampard, really. So that's my
Werner
thing.
has.
Yeah. I don't know, man, with Werner. I'm still gonna give him the next season because I don't think it's fair to just discard a guy that he bought in one season. We've seen guys that have played badly first season and performed well second season. But yeah,
But where did Chelsea go
I'm-
from this though? Did
Where
they
did
buy
Chelsea
another
go?
striker? Because
the Chelsea probably will buy a striker, innit? That's how it is.
They're looking at Haaland allegedly. Can I
We'll
just
talk about Haaland later as well. Yeah.
Werner, man, I think it's a Morata region one. Like I think
No, I agree.
it's that type thing. It's a Morata thing. Like, you're gonna end up replacing him with someone else.
Because I do hear what some people say to his defense that we don't play to his strengths completely. Like he makes a lot of runs off the ball, and we don't find him, which I do hear. But even when he's had the chances, he hasn't taken it. So it's one of them ones. But
yeah, but Josh, we can look at the chance versus Fulham is the best indicator because like Fulham, at the end of the game, Chelsea were 1-0 up. He got a chance which is perfect for him. In behind the defense, ball over the top, high line, him running in through on goal, and he missed the target 1-on-1 with the keeper. You can't defend him, man. Let's be honest. And I think the reason why me especially so like I can't understand why he's being defended is because Chelsea fans were some of the biggest ones who were getting onto Pepe last season, saying, "Oh, Pepe's a flop. Pepe's a flop. No, we don't need to give him time. He's a flop." But these are the same ones that are this season saying, "Give Werner time." Like, let's be real, both of them haven't been good enough.
I hear that. Ori, what's your thoughts? Because I know you were saying like you see Werner kind of like as not like a prolific striker, but he's not clinical in it. He's always missed chances like this.
Yeah, he's last season in Leipzig, he had a lot of chances that he missed and stuff like that. But obviously this season is way worse because some of the chances are just quite shocking that he has missed. But yeah, essentially he has to be in a system where the team creates a lot of chances. And like Josh said, Chelsea don't really create that many chances. But he still probably should be doing much better. But if you watched him last season, he's not the type of striker to take the ball, do something with it, create his own goals and stuff like that. He's just the type to.
He's not Harry Kane or
Exactly.
Benzema, yeah.
Or he's just the type to run in behind. He's quite quick as well. So he's the type of striker to run in behind and get goals like that. And it was obviously quite convenient for him in Bundesliga because of how a lot of teams there play with the high line. But now a lot of teams in the Premier League, low block teams where you have to like break them down and stuff. And Werner is probably not the person to do that. In terms of them selling him, yeah, I think I could support that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of a thing where you would still want to just give him a bit more time to just kind of see if Chelsea, in a system where Chelsea start creating more chances and stuff, whether he would actually score goals and stuff like that. Yeah. I also want to come to Denzel, who seems very vocal about the Werner thing, but was also very supportive of Martial. So I kind of think, at the end of the day, you'd always support your own players. So I don't really blame Chelsea for, still backing him. But it's just the kind of a
Hey,
thing.
that was a low blow, man. That was a low
Yeah,
blow.
that's a low blow.
Okay,
Oh,
no,
he
no,
went
okay,
there.
okay. I'm gonna respond to that because of Martial. Firstly, Martial didn't flop in his first season, so we're not gonna be going after Martial in his first season because he actually had a decent first season. With at this point in time, Man United fans have acknowledged that Martial isn't what we thought he was. We've said that, we've acknowledged that, so can't say, oh, I can't get onto Werner because of Martial. We get onto Martial too. We've acknowledged that Martial probably isn't the striker that will take Man United to the future. So, tried it. A little bit of a low blow, but we
In
acknowledge
5 seasons,
Martial.
though.
Yeah, but no, the point I was just trying to make is that at the end of the day, you'd always support your players, at least to some certain extent. I mean, Pepe, I supported him for the majority of last season. I still kind of do, but it's kind of a thing where like you have to come to terms that they probably wouldn't be they're not the same person you thought you were getting when you signed them, and it happens. So I just feel like,
but he hasn't even like he hasn't shown a glimpse of what he can be at Chelsea.
Is it Werner?
Trash. Yeah, Werner. It's
Yeah,
just
true.
Yeah,
I do
it's not even
agree.
like he's giving you a sample size of
Yeah.
what he can be. It's just been trash the whole way through.
I hear that, man. 100. With Donny, are we gonna accept that he's just gonna be a backup player for his
Yeah,
time?
it's a
or-
backup dancer. It's a backup dancer.
If only rotated, he
I'll
would
say
have
it
got
straight
more
up,
time.
straight
Will he
up.
leave?
Even
Do you think he leaves?
I think he probably needs a loan or a leave. I can't lie because of what I'll say
25?
with
Why are
Donny.
you going out on loan? Yo, big
Nah, you know what?
man,
You
man.
need
You know what I'll
options,
say with Donny.
man.
You know what I'll say
God.
with Donny. Yeah, even when he's played, like he's not good. I can't lie. All the
Yeah.
Man United
Nah,
season,
nah,
he's a
nah,
different
nah,
That's
player.
harsh.
He's a
Man,
That's
different
harsh.
player.
That's very
I'm
harsh.
not being harsh because
That's harsh.
He's
Man
not being
United
harsh.
as a
He
fan
really
base,
hasn't been.
as a fan base, we love defending him. We're like, oh, play Donny. Like, bro, the guy is not good
Wait,
when
wait,
he's
wait,
been
wait,
playing.
wait. Because I remember
When
this
he has
exact thing
played, he
with
has not
Pepe.
played well.
I remember this exact thing with
These
Pepe
are
at the start of the
facts.
season. You bring him on for 10 minutes, you start him in an odd game, and you're expecting good
Oh, in
performances.
the FA Cup, he was playing games in the FA Cup. When it comes to our FA Cup starting lineup, it's been Donny playing more time over Bruno, and he hasn't been performing well.
Well, like 3
No, I
games.
don't think that's fair.
No, it
games.
is fair because of when he's been playing, he hasn't been good.
I mean, he played
So
against Leicester.
if you're
He
getting a
played
chance to play and
he
you
played-
don't play well, then why are we
So-
saying,
so
oh,
wait,
he's
so
He
you're
played
gonna-
against
you're-
Leicester and he done a good feint for the Greenwood goal. An earlier game in the FA Cup, he played a
it, he
flick
did.
for an assist.
He didn't play well that game.
See, my thing here with this
He
year,
didn't
you
play
can't
badly,
expect
though.
you can't expect great performances from players when you're giving them either 10 minutes to come on when it's 3-0, or you're giving them a starting game every like 3-5 games.
So
a cup game.
what exactly do they expect? Because he's not going to start over Bruno. He's
Thank
not
you very much.
essentially a
And he's
10.
not really a true
And-
number 10 either.
Thank you.
Exactly.
So,
And would you really want VDB in a pivot in the Premier League? I mean, you can't really see him compared to someone like, I don't know, he can't do what Pogba does. He can't do what Fred does. He can't do what Bruno does. So
Can't do
where
what
does
No,
exactly
because we have to look at it, yeah. Obviously, it's
Where
different
does he
positions.
fit? Where does he fit?
But
Tell
you
me.
have to look at it. Even though different positions, look at Dan James. Dan James still plays a lot, even though he's a terrible footballer. And
But Dan James gets because he recently has been getting a little bit of game time. It's because of Ole knows what Dan James brings. He's a very one-dimensional player, but he plays him in certain fixtures where he knows that Dan James will be like an asset to the team.
Now,
With Donny, you can't be doing that.
You started more games this season, Dan James or
No,
Donny
but
van
Josh,
de
the
Beek.
difference is that Dan James doesn't have anyone in his position to start over.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Bruno is probably United's best player.
I know, I do hear that because it is different positions, but it's like, I'm not saying what's it called? We've all gathered that he's a squad player. He's not going to be your main starting player, and I'm not saying you should play him ahead of Bruno. But my thing is that you can't give this guy 20 minutes every now and then because sometimes he doesn't even come off the bench. And you
But how
give
should they
him
use him then?
Exactly.
How should they
That's
use
the
him? Because
point.
without Bruno,
Exactly.
they usually don't
What
win.
do you suggest?
Me
What do
personally,
you
I
suggest?
wouldn't mind instead of playing Dan James out wide, you play Donny out wide.
Oh,
really?
Mm.
you
Really?
crazy?
No.
Yeah,
no.
I'll be real, Josh.
No,
That's
no,
a
no,
hard
you're
up.
Sacrifice one of the
forcing it.
midfielders.
You're forcing it. You're telling me Donny van de Beek should be on the right wing.
But he's not. He's not
Pogba,
playing like a
Pogba is
winger,
better.
though.
Pogba is better out wide than
ridiculous.
Van de Beek.
No, I agree with that. But obviously, Donny's not going to
come on
stay
now.
out wide. He's not going to dart down the wing, but he's going to come in centrally, play a little 1-2, rotate around with the players, innit? That's how
You
I
I
know
think
see
you're
it.
being
what?
kind, Josh. You're being
Yeah,
kind.
No,
yeah.
man.
You know what?
Wait,
you know
so
what?
hold
You
on.
Donny do out wide.
Another
He
thing,
just
can I
stay out
quickly
wide.
say,
Sacrifice.
quickly, can I just say, wait, another thing, I think we were having an argument a couple of days ago about Diallo and his development. So we have Amad Diallo on the bench, not getting game time, and you want to put Donny van der Beek on right wing.
Mm.
I mean,
Does
you
that
don't
make
want
sense?
Diallo anyway.
When
So
United signed
Does that
Van
make
de
sense?
Beek, I think a lot of the fans knew. A lot of the fans knew that he wasn't going to be a starter in the squad. No matter how which way you spin it, no matter which way you look at it, they knew that he was a squad player because I saw a lot of people trying stuff and on Twitter where they would make their team and they put Bruno and Van der Beek and Pogba, and I'm like, that's not a balanced midfield at all. It wouldn't work. Or even Fred, Van der Beek, Bruno, it's just not a very balanced midfield. Pogba can do what Van der Beek can't do in terms of building out from the back and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, it's the thing where like they knew he was a squad player and they wanted him for FA Cup games, they wanted him for EFL games, they wanted him for if they did drop into the Europa League, which they did, games like that. And like Denzel has said, he hasn't played well. Now you
he
could
doesn't
say
even
that
play in the Europa League as well.
he did play in the Europa League, did he?
Against AC Milan, he didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play. It's because he was injured. I think he was injured.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
was.
was
I think. Yeah.
In the FA Cup games against West Ham, he started that game. He was poor. At the end of the day, it's a thing like no matter whether you've been getting these fixtures or not, you should still be able to do stuff in games, at least not just completely phase out of games and stuff like that. So I know it's harsh to say that he's been a poor signing, but I just think I'm unanimous on that. Like, I don't really have any judgment. I'm not going to say he's been good. I'm not going to say he was bad. It's just one of those signings that's just been there, just a squad player who hasn't really gotten any chance, who hasn't really. So, yeah.
My thing, I was ever saying that he should play in it like as a regular in it, but I don't know. Like, you're telling me Dan James is gonna offer more than Donny van der Beek out wide?
Yes, because of Dan James as a winger.
Van
der Beek is not a winger. Wait, so you're putting okay? So we have a pecking order of the right wing situation. Obviously, I don't know. Ole does this weird thing where sometimes he puts Pogba on the left and they'll put Rashford on the right or whatever. Okay. And another thing is Greenwood this season has been playing on the right. So we have an order of normally it's been Greenwood, Dan James, and then recently, like in Europa games, we'll introduce Diallo. You're telling me Van der Beek should skip that pecking order and start at right wing when he's a centre midfielder?
I'm saying
that makes zero sense.
No, what I'm basically saying, he should start ahead of Dan James. I do not. If you want to put Diallo ahead of him, fair enough. But Dan James offers nothing. He offers nothing. Why do you need to give minutes to someone like that?
When it comes to certain games, he does offer stuff. Like when we're playing teams like Man City, when it comes to like on the break, we know he has pace.
That's true.
He benefits the side. Despite he has no footballing knowledge, we can't technically.
What's the point of having pace if you don't know what to do with it though? What's the point?
But he creates space. Dan James is pace, creates space. He creates a lot of space.
Man, acting like Donny can't make space. Obviously, I hear the point that Dan James offers with the pace in it, but I don't think he's a nothing footballer, man. He's a nothing footballer.
So what is Van der Beek gonna do on the wing? Come on now.
Van der Beek's not going to do anything on the wing.
He's not going to do nothing on the wing. That doesn't make sense.
It's probably true, but I'm not playing Dan James. I'm sorry, I'm not playing Dan James at all. He's a nothing footballer.
No, but Josh, you got onto. Remember earlier? Sorry, go on.
No, you can carry on.
You got onto our flatmate Alex for saying that he should play Bruno on the wing and Van der Beek in the middle earlier this season because you said they would get into each other's space. But surely if you put Van der Beek on the wing and Bruno in the centre... No,
because you man said Pogba as well, and then who else did you say?
No, we said Pogba.
You man said Pogba and Mata as well, so I was like, no, that's your boy in that one.
No, but we were saying if you put if you wanted to play both of them, Bruno would be better on the wing than Van der Beek.
No, but the reason why I got onto you because you mentioned Pogba and Mata as well to play them all together. I was like, no, that don't make sense.
Why are we forcing this CM thing? Like, that's another issue that I have. Why are we putting CMs on the wing in general? Like, this shouldn't be happening. The Pogba one, maybe it's even the Pogba one. I don't like it.
He was going as a squad player. Simple. End of. He was never going to be a regular starter in United.
But no one's saying that he should start in it. But he would just. My thing is just he should start in the Dan James.
Yeah, probably, but
I'm sorry, maybe he's coming off as hate towards Dan James, but I've seen him so many times. He doesn't do anything, man. He's such a waste of space. He's trash. I'm not disrespectful to footballers, but he's such a rubbish player. Like he doesn't offer nothing.
Okay. He's trash, but when you give he's whack. I can vouch for that. He's trash, yeah. But when you give him a job, he executes the job more time.
Excuse what jobs? Just a run back.
When
job?
we play
He's not
him
doing
in
nothing, man.
when we start him in the games that we need to start him in, he does what he needs to do.
What, run
Like,
back and track?
Footballing wise, he's trash. He doesn't know when to pass the ball. He doesn't know when to square the ball. All of that. But his pace creates a lot of space for our team. When we played Man City, he did a job, and the job was crucial.
What job?
So we can't be
just track back Cancelo. That's it. Done.
Watch the game and watch how he plays.
No, but Josh,
Does
they
Van
won
de
that
Beek
game.
even do that?
Helped.
Does Van de Beek even be able to track back like
He probably couldn't.
Oh,
Okay,
exactly.
No, it probably is a
Exactly.
howlers to say Van de Beek should play out wide, but I'm sorry, Dan James, I don't understand why you guys are even vouching for him to even play. He's not a good. He doesn't.
He's not good
nothing.
at ball. He's not good at ball. I'll give you that, but I'm not gonna completely rub
No. Do you
No,
understand
it's
my
not-
point?
it's
How
not-
are
He's
we
starting on
actually making
compared to Dan
excuses
James.
for someone like a Dan James that there's a reason
Because
why he
you-
plays.
You're a hater.
It's
You're a
because Van de
hater.
Beek-
No, bro. You're telling me that you should put a CM on the wing instead of an actual.
Dan James
that's probably
was
a
Regardless
howler,
of
but
how
I'm not.
trash
I'd
he
rather
is.
have
Dan
him
James
than
was a
Dan
James.
central
CM on the
mid.
wing,
If Dan
that don't
James
make
was a central
sense.
midfielder and he was getting chances over if Dan James was a central midfielder and he was getting chances over Van de Beek, then okay, you could say that. But completely two different positions, Van de Beek couldn't play out wide like Dan James does. So at the end of the day, it's just a thing where you have to think of centrally which players can you take away, and whichever players you're taking away, you're making the midfield less balanced. So he just doesn't fit in, to be honest. I've said it even before when they got him. I was just looking at the squad. I was just thinking, where would he play? Where would he? So once they got him, and I just knew that he was a squad player. He wasn't going to be starting. Although I do think that he probably should get a bit more chances, but it's just kind of hard.
That's just my thing. He should just play a bit more in it, and then
you should play more.
Yeah,
you should
that's
play
it.
more.
Yeah.
He's not going to play ahead of Bruno, but that's
The only way I see him fitting into that squad is maybe if you get rid of McTominay or Fred and put him in that. But he's not a CDM either. He's not a CDM either. That's not a balanced midfield.
You know what? The only way it could work would be to actually get someone who could properly play as a lone DM. And those are rare in football. I feel like the only person that really comes to mind is someone like Rice. I think Rice can play in.
No, United have one, but he's just old. Matic is old. You can't play as a lone
And
DM.
he's slow.
Yeah, but you can't play. But yeah, you can't play Matic.
No, like he's finished now. Like
He's
he's not
finished
the same
now,
player.
Yeah,
Maybe when he was
he's
like 20.
basically a fifth centre back. He's normally.
Although
when he
I
plays,
kind of prefer Rice in a pivot with another person, but and I know Rice can play as a lone DM. So someone like Rice, then you could play, but it will only have to be against some certain teams because you can't play with Bruno and Van de Beek against a team like City. They would, or a team like Liverpool. They would overrun you in midfield. But yeah, against someone like Burnley or someone like Palace, something like that, you could play with Bruno and Van de Beek. So games like that, he can be starting, getting minutes there and stuff like that, which is what I thought he would be doing this season, but maybe he doesn't have the right players to do that with. But yeah, I guess we'll see what his future is going to look like in United.
Yeah, Dan James is a terrible footballer, man. I'm sorry. Nah, I never.
No one's arguing with you.
Never vouch for that guy. You don't.
Yeah.
You should play
Nobody's
for like
arguing with you on
Sheffield.
that.
Sheffield or something like that.
We're not disputing that. Oh, Wolves. I think he would be good at Wolves.
You wouldn't be good at anywhere.
Yeah, no, I think he'll be good at Wolves.
We'll go to Leeds or Wolves or something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe
he was meant to
Leeds.
go to Leeds. He was meant to go to Leeds.
That would have actually been a smart move for him, man. He might have actually developed, but
He's not a good player, but taking him off and putting Van de Beek on the wing is mad.
I think he probably still do better than Dan James. I can't. Nah. I can't take that back. I can't take that one back. Who's Dan
Wait,
James?
what? Say that again. Say
What?
He's got more goals than Pulisic.
Yeah, fair enough. Man.
Exactly.
Fair
Let's talk about it.
fair enough, man. But
City
they're not
doesn't
the same
score
level.
anything,
Pulisic
but
is
he
one of
hasn't
them.
got goals on
Pulisic is someone who needs to be spoken about.
Pulisic is still better than. Even at his worst, he's still better than Dan James.
He is.
Yeah, but Dan James is not the measuring stick. You don't use Dan James as the thing to say if someone's a good player.
Yeah, no, so you don't compare them, innit? You don't use Dan James as anything.
Like, bro,
Dan
I'm
James
confident
ain't
I'm
made
better
out
than
of
Dan
paper.
James.
Okay, no, let's stop hating on him. I'm sorry. I think I went a bit too far in it. Went a bit too far. Let's move on. Lukaku, he bagged a key goal against Bologna.
Yeah.
Inter Milan should win the league. So my question to you, man, is if Inter win the league, should Lukaku stay or go? Thoughts, Ori?
He should stay.
He should stay. He should
Mm-hmm.
stay. I feel like if Inter were going to sell someone, they should sell Lautaro Martinez, because I just feel Lukaku has just become more than just a player for them. He's kind of like a symbol as well. Even in the advertisements for their new logo and stuff like that, you can see they're trying to market him as like the main man, the number 9, the striker, the main, So yeah, I don't think there will be, although they would get a lot of money from him, but yeah, I don't think they'll be looking to sell him, and I don't think he'll be looking to go, because his fitness level since he's gone to Syria has just been crazy. He even said it that when he got there that he used to take pineapples on pizza and stuff like that, until they patterned him and they just changed his whole diet and changed his whole fitness regime and stuff like that. So I think he is really happy there, and I don't think he'd want to leave. But yeah, I mean, England can just be a very toxic place, let's be real, with the media and everything. If I was a football player, I do love the Premier League, but at the end of the day, I would be thinking, of leaving, because the media can just get too toxic and stuff like that. So his time in the Premier League was good, I think, towards the end in United, where he started getting a bit of people started making fun of his touch and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think he should go. I think he should stay in Inter.
Denzel?
Yeah, I think he should stay. I feel like he's more appreciated in Italy and has become their talisman. He's their, like Orion was saying, he's their main guy. So I don't. Where would he go? He would come back to the Prem most likely.
Chelsea.
Yeah, people were saying Chelsea, and he comes to Chelsea, he's underappreciated again. Nah, I think Inter Milan, he's found his form. I think he's in his prime, and for him to ruin that by coming back to the Premier League, I don't see that. Nah, it doesn't make sense. And another thing I want to say is, I don't think he was that bad at United. He wasn't bad at United,
He wasn't.
It's just these silly little Twitter agendas saying, oh, he has no first touch or he's a donkey, all that rubbish. Nah, he was actually a good player at Man United. I don't know why. Maybe all that negativity seeped into the club. People started thinking.
You know what? I don't think people understand how toxic. I don't really understand people understand how toxic the English media is, because
it's one of them ones.
People make fun of Salah still till now. People troll Salah. People make him out to be a bad player. A person who's about to win his 3rd Golden Boot in 4 seasons, people still act like he isn't that good of a player.
Kane's winning it. But
Kane is probably winning it. But in terms of that, it just kind of shows you that even if you're good, it's kind of a thing where the media could just really pull you down and stuff like that.
So someone's always going to try and rub you out, man. That's how it is, man.
Exactly.
It's that's how it is. Even though we make fun of Bruno at times, we all appreciate what he's doing. That he's still doing something mad right now, isn't it? So it's one of them ones, man. There's just because I feel like with agendas, when people subscribe, is initially a joke in it, but once they say it to themselves enough, they actually start to believe it.
Yeah. And I mean, Bruno is even a good example as well. I mean, a lot of people still come at him for not being a good footballer and stuff like that. And despite what he's doing, so imagine anyone who is just half level of that, imagine the kind of hate they'll be getting and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan? What's your thoughts on Lukaku? Should he stay or should he go?
I think he should definitely stay. I think Lukaku, people, obviously, as was previously said, agendas run and agendas fly, and especially when you're playing for Man United. I think Man United, Arsenal, probably Liverpool, they're the 3 most really, I don't know how to phrase this, but they're the clubs that people really like to run agendas on and take the mick out of their players and shine a flashlight when they do badly. And I think Lukaku was just in a place where he was doing his job, but he just, I don't know, it just sometimes it wasn't aesthetically pleasing. Obviously sometimes his first touch wasn't the best, so people like to exaggerate and make the most out of it. But at Inter, he's found his feet. He's got a good partnership with Lautaro. Obviously, he's come into the league at a good point because Juventus are declining. So I think he should definitely stay, and maybe you can win the title again next year. Maybe they can do a bit better in Europe next year. And I don't really see what club he'll go to, because I think if he goes to Chelsea, I don't think it's the right move for him either.
I don't know, because he is a Chelsea fan, and he flopped at Chelsea, so it's one of them ones where you might want to.
But I kind of need to go now.
Say nothing, bro, man. Catch you next week, yeah?
All right, I'll see you guys next week.
I hold it, man. But yeah, Sarah, what's your thoughts?
Why would he leave? Like, they probably can't afford. The only reason they would need to sell him is because of their finances, and he has become their main man, as everyone said. And also, this is the perfect time to be playing for another club instead of Juventus, because you could potentially see Inter and AC and all these other clubs just challenging for titles. As Juventus sort their situation out. He's developed a really good relationship, as we said, with Lautaro. He's improved him as well. He improves so many players around him, like Barella, like coming up as a number 10. Even Eriksen, we've seen Eriksen play a bit more as well. There's a good project going on there in amongst that. And sometimes we say like Conte, he can like blow up at any moment. But yeah, they've got a really good project going on there, and they just need to improve on their European form, because we know that they've gone out of their last 3 times they've been in the Champions League in the group stage or something like that. So they've not been good. So maybe he'll be looking at that. But apart from that, he's going to be the main man who wins back the title for them in the first time in 10 years. He's ahead of all their marketing and everything like that. And personally, for me, I don't see what other club he goes to. Like, I just can't see it happening. It's sort of a bit like Kane, but obviously Kane's a bit different. But yeah, I don't see which club he'd go to anyway.
You know what? Finally, to round it off here, let's bring up Haaland as well, because we all saw the madness that was going on with him as well. He was like his agent and his dad and his Mina Raiola in Madrid, innit? Just one word answers. Do you think he's going this season, and where would he go? Denzel.
Yeah, he's going. I'm not sure where he's going though. I can't lie.
Sarah.
He's going. I don't think he goes to the Premier League. So I don't know where he goes there.
And then Dan?
I don't think he goes. Too expensive.
See, that's the thing, yeah, with Dortmund. If they don't make Champions League, one of Sancho or Haaland will go, but I don't know which one will go. That's the thing, because I don't think they'll sell them both at the same time.
He has a release clause though, and like if you just wait a year, he'll be significantly cheaper.
Yeah, next season as well.
Sancho or Haaland?
Sancho or Haaland.
Oh, how much is the release clause?
I think it's 70.
Yeah, something like 75.
Next year.
Yeah, they're gonna have to sell.
But Sancho's value's declined this year because he's been injured a lot, so maybe they might want to keep him another year.
And his contract's running down as well, innit? So it's one of them ones. So I don't know who they're gonna sell, in all honesty. Maybe it might be Haaland because they can fetch a big amount, but
they're both gonna go though. I don't see either of them definitely.
I think season after season, one of them will go like each. Yeah, they'll follow each other, innit? But I don't think straight away like two of them go at the same time. I don't think Dortmund really do that. They need to sell one big player at a time. But yeah, man. Stars and Wellers of the week, any nominees? Just shout them out.
There's Pereira, maybe played all right, but that's subjective because you guys went down to 10 men. But he played well. He was part of everything that went well with West Brom. So.
Jose Mourinho, Wellard of the week. He got battered by Steve Bruce's Newcastle.
Oh God.
The way they played was so awful, and then he tried to throw the team under the bus. Typical Jose.
Yeah, he blamed the player quality off, didn't he? Something like that.
I've got to start the week. Big Sam. Give him his
Give him his props, man. You got Big Sam.
I'm saying he's still chewing that piece of chewing gum.
Imagine.
Big Sam.
Hey, relegation's looking a bit tight though. Fulham lost again, so Brighton lost as well.
I might give it to Fulham as well. They capitulated in the last 15 minutes. They threw it away.
But yeah, I think that's it for this week, man. We spent 10 minutes arguing about Dan James and Donny. I'm not gonna slander Dan James no more because it's a bit peak, man. It's not fair. It's not fair. So the ones we live and we learn, man. But yeah, man, I think that's it for this week, man. You man know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with your friends, man. Remember, we're trying to hit to 50 subs, then 100, 500, 1K. You know how it is, man. Small progress. That's how it is, man. But yeah, man. We'll catch you, man, next week. Peace.